Okay. You want to learn about the latest and greatest ways to make perfect YouTube videos for whatever your desires are. Oh wait, that's probably too far for the camera angle to see. Okay guys, so welcome to today's video, and I have 5 tips to bring you today about how to make the most perfect YouTube videos possible that you can possibly ever imagine. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so as I mentioned, we are going to try to get your YouTube videos to be as close to perfect as we possibly can. That's going to involve using 5 different tips, powerful tips that I have for you today. So with that being said, let's actually just hop right into it now. So step 1 as becoming a part of a YouTuber, you really need to make sure you have your game down. It's very important to use as many camera angles as you possibly can, because if you don't use the correct amount of camera angles, then it could really defeat the purpose of having more camera angles, to make a video more smooth and less distracting. Alright, obviously guys, that was a joke. Starting off with the first tip for today. As you can see, you have all of my recording stuff behind me. That's where I record. That's one of the camera angles. There's another one over there. I have them both around me. This is all of my recording equipment that I have. And the point is, I do not set up all of this right as I'm recording in the recording time period that I give myself. You're actually going to want to set up your camera and equipment and whatever you're recording stuff that you're going to be using the night before you record. Or better yet, just leave most of it set up if you can. You obviously don't have to leave your lights on or your cameras rolling all night. That would be really weird if you ask me, but at least you can have everything in the right position. If you have lighting, if you have camera ready to go, whatever you're going to be using, get it ready the night before so the next day you can have as much time as you possibly need and not have to worry about that kind of setup. Alright guys, now on to tip number 2. It's actually going to be talking about all the different lighting that we have going on, especially in my personal example that I have in this room around me. Let me actually just go and turn off all my lighting just so you can see what I'm talking about. Right now I just have my room's light on and a couple other lights from other rooms that just come with my house by default, along with my desk setup, and as you can see, it is pretty dark in here, especially with the cameras that I'm using. So the point of this tip is that you use as much lighting as you possibly can when you're recording. A great start to this would be using a window as much as you can, because that has nice lighting throughout the day. Alright, so now that you guys can see me again, I would like to say though that my room's lighting does actually have a good amount of light in it. There are a few lights around me that come with my house and my room by default, so you can always use as much lights as you have in your resources along with the window strategy and keep the shot looking nice and clean. Woo! Alright, let's go! Time for tip number 3! Let's go! Baby! Tip number 3 is getting hyped up for when you're gonna be recording. You have to make sure you're bringing that energy, baby, for when you're recording. You have to have that energy when you're recording, or else people aren't gonna watch you. If you're not interesting, then there's no reason why someone else on YouTube could literally just take over your content, do the exact same thing, and take your spot. What I'm telling you is it's not easy. It's gonna take a lot of practice, it's gonna take a lot of confidence building, and a lot of preparation. So going along with prepping by using proper lighting as well as prepping your equipment the night before, you're also going to prep yourself. You need to make sure you have time to get yourself in the mood, whether that's listening to music, just doing something that helps yourself relax. Just remember, your time to get ready and hyped up for the recording is super important, so make sure you have the energy when you're recording. On to tip number 4 now. Alright guys, now for tip number 4, you need to make sure that you are scripting what you are doing. Now, I don't know if you can see this very well, but I do have a little bit of a script right here. And the point is though, even this might be a little bit much for a lot of people to read and to me remember. So that's why I'm actually winging a lot of the script myself. My point is though, that you don't want to just be reading off your script, because over-scripting is bad. Instead, you want to put the main points of what you're talking about. This will cause you to end up sounding unnatural if you do not do... Yeah, you see what I'm saying, right? If you just keep reading off of your script and constantly going, it's gonna sound unnatural. But let's just hop right into tip number 5, which is do not underestimate the power of resourcefulness. It's very important to know what you can do with the resources around you. As we talked about before, using things just like a window or the lights that come with your room are already very good steps into just using the resources around you. We can actually expand on using things like your phone camera. That's actually what I've been using for the majority of my over a year process doing YouTube. There are endless tutorials across the internet to tell you how to do cool different effects on your videos, your audio stuff, anything you want. You can learn how to improve your video production, your editing, your thumbnails, anything you want to. Millions of options. And speaking of a green screen and special effects and all these cool things that you can create in YouTube videos, there are endless. Actually, I could just make a special effect that makes the endless echo. Yeah, you get the idea. But the point is, you can at least start by recording with what you have, and you can always expand into later. If you do have the content and the heart of the video is you, then people will come and you can then upgrade from there. And with that being said though, guys, that is pretty much it for today's video. Keep that energy up. That's probably not in the right order. Keep that lighting good. Keep, what else did I say? I said a couple other things. They'll all be on the screen right now. But until the next video, the next tips, I will see you in the next one. Peace! And wait a minute. Actually, speaking of subscribers, guys, according to my YouTube analytics page, we have our first subscriber! Oh!